Okay, you guys, so I'm doing this video briefly introducing the Eastern Stars because they have a lot to do with my case. And these people run a lot in the country as far as women are concerned. And you can just look up a little bit about them and see it on the surface. Here's Sandra Bland's mother talking about a settlement that she got for $1.9 million and discussing how her daughter would have felt about the settlement. Her daughter was in a sorority, and everybody knows about the Sandra Bland investigation. There was a baby found dead at a sorority house, and there was two babies found dead at that same sorority house, I believe. Now, this is Sandra Bland's car, and the babies were not found at the same sorority house that Sandra Bland was in, but I'm just letting you guys know it's been some creepy stuff going on with these sororities. Now, here is Sandra Bland and clips of Sandra Bland saying that she was recording herself because the officer was behaving very aggressively with her, but she was filming the entire thing. He had followed her anyway. And Sandra Bland was laid to rest after this arrest. And here's Sandra Bland's mother at her service in Illinois, and a picture of her mother at her service in Illinois where her daughter was buried. And the prosecutor was saying that the autopsy revealed no homicide. Now, you guys know about the George Floyd case. They did that publicly on television, and the lady who did the autopsy is reporting his death a homicide, and we actually have it on camera, and their defense is still trying to lie about it. And it would have been great if Sandra Bland's case could have been done the same way on camera, so that the person who did the autopsy would have definitely been held accountable for whatever findings that they actually found when they reviewed her body. She was carried by these gentlemen to be buried, and here's her mother at the service. And I don't know really who those men were who were carrying her body, but this is George Floyd. I don't know if those guys were affiliated with Freemasons or not, but here was George Floyd's memorial service. And back to Sandra Bland, this is some police footage of her being brought in. As you can see, she was being brought in a sundress, very feminine. You're supposed to treat a woman a certain way. And then they stripped her of her clothes. There's a black woman, and that's a black officer who is patting her down to see if she has any weapons, which could have been something to protect herself. But she didn't have any weapons on her. There's a black female officer before her death, a black female officer. And here's another black male officer, and she's being brought in a orange inmate uniform, and it looks like she's attempting to call her family. And she's sitting there with her legs crossed, feminine, very feminine, and just minding her business and waiting. Now they had her in the orange uniform, which makes her look less of a female, like it was okay for whatever happened to her. Now they're saying her family still wants answers. But I was wondering more about the phone call that she made. Who did she call when she was in the jail? And she didn't even seem to have much time before she wound up dead. And her sisters are supposedly still wanting answers about what really happened to her. And of course, her mother did win a $1.9 million lawsuit. And the lady with the blonde hair was also seen at the funeral next to her mother. And it says Sandra Bland arrested after a traffic stop.
Why am I being apprehended? You just opened my car door. You just opened my car door. So you're threatening to drag me out of my own car.
Get out of the car!
And then you're going to stun me?
I will light you up. Get out!
Wow.
Now!
Wow.
Get out of the car!
Really, for a failure to signal. You're doing all of this for a failure
to signal. Get over there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, let's take this to court. Let's do it.
Ahead.
For a failure to signal. Yep, for a failure to signal.
Get off the phone.
On my school.
Get off the phone.
I'm not on the phone. I have a right to record. This is my property. This is my property.
She was on her school property. Well, I know she was going to Prairie View for being an activist.
You're doing all of this for a
failure to signal. Get over there.
You
I
gonna
will
stun
light
me?
you up. Get out.
Wow.
Now, this was the memorial service at George Floyd's funeral. And I want you guys to really watch the rest of this video and look at the memorial service. And this isn't the entire service, it's just clips. You know, you don't see any white people holding any of these services like this year round, where they're in there doing what these black people are doing right now with their children, claiming that black people are killing their sons and daughters. But yet this is happening with black people, constantly holding these ceremonies that are becoming ritual, where they're burying their children and they're having these wakes with their children in these caskets and holding these ceremonial burials and wakes. But this is not happening in the white community. You don't see white women doing this and burying their sons because a black man killed their son or a black man killed their daughter. No, white people would be at your throats about it. And I'm all about keeping your faith in God, but nobody is standing up for me but God. So I just wanted us to take a look at the George Floyd Memorial Service. Because this is becoming ritual. This is becoming ritual. And ritual is something that keeps happening. It keeps happening. It's almost like it's like a tradition. And this should not be our tradition. Now, this was from Celebrity Get Down. So they're calling Sandra Bland's mother a celebrity, and they're saying she's getting down at Sandra Bland's wake. This is becoming ritual. I don't want to bury my children. And that was the lady in the photo with the mother. And they're dancing. You know, and I know we all handle it differently, but it's time for us to stop dancing. No one can tell a mother how to handle the death of her child. And thank God that, I'm alive to tell my own story. And I don't need no family or no man that I just met a couple of months ago to try to tell me what they did not do to me in that jail. And Sandra Bland can't tell us what they did because the prosecutor ruled it not a homicide. But we all know she was alive at that traffic stop. And she was completely calm when they brought her in.
I want Sandy to be remembered as an activist, sassy, smart.
She was an activist.
She knew her rights. And so while everybody's in an uproar, go do your research.
Black racists have no power, whereas white racists do. They have power because they are in positions of control, or they're in positions where they can influence the control over black people.
Yep, and now she's deceased. One of the real ones. And we got a whole bunch of black women alive that's cooning and selling us out, and that's what they want. Sandra Bland's mother said this means war for her, spiritually at least. Because we all know it was more to why Sandra Bland was laid to rest. Rest in peace, Miss Bland.